Nitish Kumar is a man full of vendetta, is what former Union Minister RCP Singh told NDTV a day after he quit the Janata Dal United following a snub from his party boss, Nitish Kumar. Mr. Singh, who's also a former party president and was a close aide of Nitish Kumar, said that's why Mr. Kumar stooped so low and targeted his daughters. The JDU had earlier demanded Mr. Singh explain irregularities in properties linked to his daughters. Nitish Kumar was reportedly upset with RCP Singh for his growing proximity to his coalition partner, the Bharatiya Janata Party. Mr. Singh had accepted a union cabinet berth without Nitish Kumar's consent. However, RCP Singh denies the charge, claiming Home Minister Amit Shah had spoken to Nitish Kumar about cabinet expansion and offered one berth to the party on the condition that Mr. Singh himself become a union minister. Well, we've got reactions from the JDU which have come in on this as well. And the point being mentioned by the JDU is what is the need for them to join the central government itself or the central cabinet itself, since from 2019 onwards, Chief Minister Nitish Kumar made it clear that they would not join the centre.
अभी जेडीयू मंत्रिमंडल में काहे के लिए हम शामिल हो? क्या जरूरत है? किस बात की आवश्यकता है? 2019 में माननीय मुख्यमंत्री जी ने फैसला किया था कि हम सरकार में शामिल नहीं होंगे। हमारी पार्टी आज उस स्टैंड पर कायम है, माननीय मुख्यमंत्री जी के 2019 के निर्णय पर।
जिस प्रकार से आपको नोटिस दिया वो तो बिना नीतीश कुमार की सहमति से नहीं हो सकता। आपकी बेटियों का नाम, आपकी पत्नी का नाम,
यही जो आप बोले ना कि क्या आनंद फानंद। देखिए, इसलिए मैं बताया कि मैं देख रहा था 1.25 साल से क्या चल रहा है। उसके बाद ठीक है, मेरा टिकट काट दिया। आपका पॉलिटिकल डिसीजन है, मुझे कुछ नहीं करना। मैंने कुछ कहा भी नहीं, आप देखे होंगे। हम मंत्री से हट गए, कोई बात नहीं। जिस घर में रहते थे मेरा घर भी नहीं था, वहां से रातों रात निकले, हमको कोई बात नहीं। हम तो अपने गांव में आकर रह रहे हैं। अब बताइए, सब हमको पॉलिटिकल नहीं पटना है। पॉलिटिकल नहीं पटिए ना, पॉलिटिकल लड़ाई लड़िए, चलिए फील्ड में चलिए, जहां भी चलना चलिए। अब बताइए, बिलो द बेल्ट हिट करने वाली बात है भाई। कोई भी प्रॉपर्टी हमारे से नहीं पूछिएगा कि आज रामचंद्र प्रसाद सिंह आपने कोई MP बनने के बाद कोई जमीन खरीदी या कोई प्रॉपर्टी और खरीदी, कोई मकान खरीदा या कोई हमारे परिवार का सदस्य मकान खरीदा जिसमें हमारे अकाउंट से कोई पैसा गया हो, तब ना मनीष जी होगा। अब बताइए, हमारी बेटियां वो खुद इनकम टैक्स पे ही है। हमारे पिताजी थे, जो भी उनकी प्रॉपर्टी थी सबको दिए हैं। और गांव का आप जान लीजिए, हमारे गांव का जरा देख लीजिए क्या हाल है, किस तरह का लोग गांव में 800-900 रुपये उसमें कट्ठा जमीन मिलता था। गांव में हम लोग रहते थे, हमारी पत्नियां खेती कराती, स्वाभाविक है, लोग आते थे, खरीद लिया है। अब उसका सबका देखिए, आज आप जब देखिए, इस देश में जमीन खरीदना कोई अपराध तो है नहीं, राइट टू प्रॉपर्टी तो एक कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल राइट है। लेकिन आप जब खरीदते हैं उसका हिसाब होना चाहिए, इनकम टैक्स रिटर्न फाइल होता है, सब चीज एक्सप्लेन्ड है, एक एक चीज दिया हुआ है। तो बताइए, प्रॉपर्टी उसके नाम से है, अब आप बिलो द बेल्ट हिट करें तो अच्छा है जी। जितने हमारे पार्टी के नेता हैं उनका अपना परिवार वाला जरा खोजवा लें तो देखिए पार्टी का किस प्रकार से, जो नेता लोग हैं इनका किस प्रकार से व्यवहार रहा, क्या दुष्प्रचारित कराया कि साहब मंत्री अपने से बन गए।
उसकी सच्चाई क्या है? हाँ,
यही मैं बता रहा हूँ। उसकी सच्चाई जरा समझिए कि भाई इससे बड़ा सफेद झूठ कोई हो ही नहीं सकता है कि मैं अपने से मंत्री बन गया। तो कोई जनता दल को MP जाके मंत्री बन लेता। आप याद करिए, मैं पहली बार मीडिया में इस बात को कह चुका हूँ भाई। हमको याद है, आज भी 4 जुलाई था, हमारा जो किसान प्रकोष्ठ का हम सम्मेलन बैठक कर रहे थे, उसके बाद हमको ललन जी आके बोले कि भाई आदरणीय गृह मंत्री जी ने बात किया मुख्यमंत्री जी से, एक्सपेंशन होना है, तो मुख्यमंत्री जी ने कह दिया है कि हमारे राष्ट्राध्यक्ष से बात कर लीजिए। तो हमने कहा कि ललन जी तो अच्छा है भाई, उनको बात करना चाहिए था। हमने कहा कि ललन जी बताइए, बात करना है तो हम क्या बात करें। तो बोले 4-5 मंत्रालय मांग लीजिएगा। हमके 2 मंत्रालय तो दिया नहीं उस समय, 4-5 मंत्रालय कहाँ से देगा। लेकिन चलिए, आप कहें तो जब आएगा तो हम बात करेंगे। अगले दिन गृह मंत्री जी का फोन आया 9:15 बजे, हंसते उन्होंने कहा कि कल हम बात किए थे मुख्यमंत्री जी से, वो कहें आपसे बात करने लगे। क्या बात है सर? तो बोले कि साहब केंद्रीय मंत्रिमंडल का एक्सपेंशन होना है और हम लोग चाहते हैं JDU में उसमें रहे। तो हमने कहा सर प्रस्ताव क्या है? तो बोले प्रस्ताव सिंपल है कि अभी एक हम लोग बनाना चाहते हैं, वो भी आपको। तो हमने कहा कि सर मैं राष्ट्रीय अध्यक्ष हूँ, क्या कहेगा लोग, हमको लोग जूते मारेगा। तो बोले देखिए प्रस्ताव यही है, आप नीतीश बाबू से बात करके हमको कन्वे करिए। मैंने ये सूचना तुरंत ललन जी को दिया कि देखिए बात हो गई, वो कह रहे हैं सिर्फ हमारे लिए। और तो कहे क्या आपने बात कर ली मुख्यमंत्री से? हमने कहा हमने बात नहीं किया। हम जाहिर है उनको बताएंगे, तो कहे कि वो नहीं मानेंगे। तो हमको इसमें क्या भाई, 2017 में भी कोई नहीं बना, 2019 में नहीं, हमको तो ऐसी कोई बात है नहीं। मैं मुख्यमंत्री जी के यहाँ गया, आधे घंटे में वेट किया, आए तो पूछे क्या है। तो हमने कहा भाई कल आपसे बात किए थे, हमको तो बताया भी नहीं, हमको तो ललन जी बताएं। तो बोले क्या बात हुई? हमने कहा बात बहुत सिंपल हुई। वो कह रहे हैं कि साहब एक्सपेंशन होना है और एक मंत्री बनना है, और वो भी हमारे नाम के लिए बोल रहे हैं। छूटते ही बोला, हम ही वो थे कि आप जाकर के शपथ ले लीजिए, मैं ललन जी को राष्ट्रीय अध्यक्ष बना दूं।
Well, my colleague Akhilesh Sharma has been tracking the story very closely. Akhilesh, the JDU says that there is a conspiracy, which is why, and apparently a conspiracy, the details of which they are willing to reveal at a certain stage. How is the BJP seeing these developments within the JDU, their coalition partner in Bihar?
Vishnu, as far as the BJP is concerned, the BJP does not want to break the alliance with Nitish Kumar because last month both Home Minister Amit Shah and BJP President JP Nadda, they were in Patna and they participated in the Morcha meeting there. And Amit Shah made it very clear that the BJP wants to contest next Lok Sabha and the assembly election along with the JDU. So BJP does not want to break the alliance. That has been made very clear by the party leadership to the state leadership. But the BJP state leaders, they are fed up with the attitude of Nitish Kumar and the JDU. They feel that they are feeling suffocated in this alliance, and they feel that Nitish Kumar's popularity has gone down considerably in the state, and they are saying that Nitish Kumar on his own, can break the alliance with the BJP in the coming days. Since he has called a meeting of all the party MPs and MLAs on Tuesday, so BJP is in a wait and watch mood. They are saying that, they have to see what is the next step taken by Nitish Kumar, because in the past he has broken the alliance with the BJP. So this time also he can do the same. That's not ruled out. And the way the national president of the JDU has spoken today indicated about a conspiracy. He talked about the Chirag model, and of course blaming BJP without naming it, and saying that RCP Singh was used in the same manner as Chirag was used. So BJP is saying very clearly that, Nitish Kumar has already made up his mind to break the alliance, but the BJP on its part will not take the step.
No, but politically, what sense does it make for the JDU to potentially break the alliance with the BJP? Do they believe they could emerge as the strongest party numerically in Bihar? Wouldn't the JDU, for its part, be looking at these developments very closely and thinking, if this coalition breaks, then, they really have a chance at forming a government in the state?
In Bihar, we know that there are three parties, JDU, RJD and the BJP.
Sorry, RJD. How would the RJD be looking at this?
RJD, there's a speculation in Patna that Nitish Kumar had a meeting with Tejasvi Yadav a few days back, and things are being worked out between the two parties. But we have seen that how Nitish Kumar ditched RJD last time. So Tejasvi Yadav has been saying it from time to time that this time he will not be biting the bat by Nitish Kumar, and he will be very careful as far as dealing with Nitish Kumar is concerned. So we have to see what kind of understanding develops between these two parties. But as far as the BJP is concerned, BJP is saying that it will not take any step on its part, and it is to wait what step Nitish Kumar takes. And of course, the kind of language used by Lalan Singh this afternoon in Patna in that press conference and blaming BJP for a conspiracy to bring down JDU, of course, it indicates that not everything is well between these two parties, and we have to see what transpires in the next week.
But just as far as RCP Singh himself is concerned, the allegation is that he was approached directly by the BJP to take a berth at the center, and that he seemed to suggest, it has been suggested that he accepted that and in the process went, on top of Nitish Kumar's head. So is there any truth in that allegation?
Of course, there's a talk within the JDU for a very long time as far as RCP Singh is concerned. They have been saying that, RCP negotiated cabinet berth for himself with the BJP leadership, and that's why he kept the JDU leadership under dark. But they also say at the same point of time that there's a tussle between RCP Singh and Lalan Singh, and that's why Lalan Singh, has tried to convey the message within the party that RCP negotiated cabinet berth for himself, and Lalan Singh, who himself was a claimant for the post, he was not given the opportunity by the BJP because RCP had a separate deal with the BJP leadership. That's why Lalan Singh today blamed the BJP and talked about the Chirag model. They are saying the same thing about Chirag, saying that the RCP is now being used by the BJP to cut down the JDU to size, and that's why in the coming days this may blow up in a larger proportion, and things may actually go in a separate way between the BJP and the JDU.
No, but Akhilesh, just one point. What you were mentioning earlier on is that there is no tie-up or talk of a real fix-up between the RJD and the JDU. They've had a bizarre equation in the past. It's not worked out when they were allies. The JDU did end up going with the BJP. But in a situation where there is no agreement, at least none that we are aware of, between the JDU and the RJD, where does this leave the JDU? Where does this leave the BJP? And where does this leave the RJD? RJD must just be looking on because they don't really have a role in it.
RJD feels that they were cheated by Nitish Kumar because they fought the election
Exactly.
in an alliance and they got the majority on their own. But Nitish Kumar dished them also in the similar manner he dished the BJP. So that's why Tejasvi Yadav has been very careful. We have to wait and see what kind of understanding they develop as far as the power sharing is concerned, if they come together at all. Because we have to see, in the sense that Tejasvi has a big challenge before him. He knows very well that, that if he has to expand his party and he has to protect his caste base within the state, that's why he has to be very careful what
Right.
kind of understanding and what kind of seat sharing has to be there with the JDU. So that has to be seen. But as far as the BJP is concerned, BJP is saying very clearly that the party leadership has conveyed to the state leadership that the coming elections, be it Lok Sabha or be it Assembly election, they have to be in alliance with the JDU. So
Right.
BJP on his part will not take any step, but they have to see what next step that Nitish Kumar takes, and that's why BJP is waiting, and they are hopeful that the alliance will continue. But of course, nobody knows what is going to happen next, because as far as Nitish Kumar is concerned, is totally unpredictable, and he can take any step at any time.